Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Double Clutch Podcast. Kevin back again on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon, I guess, is what this would be. Hope you had a good weekend. How was your weekend? It was probably more productive than mine. Not that I didn't do anything, but all we really did was clean the house a little bit. Clean the downstairs of the house. Kind of got the garage cleaned out just a little bit more. All the toys and stuff that the kids are not gonna ever play with. A couple clothes we got put away because people were just handing off clothes for the newborn. We're getting clothes out the ass. There's just so much clothes, and people give us all their old toys and shit. Like after a while, it gets a little what's the word I'm looking for? Overbearing, because we already have so much shit from the other two that we have, and it's just there's so much going on. But other than that, most of my weekend comprised of was basically just playing video games. I cooked dinner. That was about it. Hung out with the kids a little bit. That kind of shit. Something mostly just a pretty lazy weekend compared to others. You know, Sometimes at one point we had to go to the store to get some more food because all of our stuff was depleted. We had a freezer full of shit, just 2 weeks ago, but when you're cooking dinner every night for 5 people, well, mostly it's 4 people because I'm not usually home for dinner, but on the weekends it's 5 people, you tend to go through shit pretty quickly. Tend to empty out the fridge and freezer. You go in one day and you're like, oh, well, I want some milk. And then you go and you look and there's no fucking milk because the kids drink it morning to night because it's milk. It's delicious. I understand. I like milk. My kids like milk. But it just sucks having to go and shop so often. I even have a Sam's Club membership. I buy so much shit in bulk, and it just seems to just go away. Like I've already had to buy, another thing of another gallon of milk, another thing of eggs. I'm constantly running out of those kind of things. And let me tell you something. Those gallons of milk from Sam's Club are fucking ugly. They're ugly and they don't pour right. There's some kind of resistance. When you're pouring that milk, it just gets a big bubble in it and it just splashes all over your fucking counter. I don't understand why they made them like that. I mean, you could just made a standard fucking milk. So I'm done buying milk from fucking Sam's Club, especially in those god-awful gallon jugs. They're terrible looking. Might as well, I'll just get it from fucking Walmart. It's the same milk, same price pretty much. The gallon is just way more ergonomic because that shit, oh my god, it's just like, it looks like a gas can. The one you get from Sam's Club looks like a fucking gas can. You just take the lid is so huge. It's like 2 or 3 times the size of, the normal spout of a milk, like a regular milk jug. And this one here, it's just terrible. And they're like, oh, it helps fill it up faster. I'm like, do I really need to save an extra 3 seconds while I'm filling up my milk at the cost of spilling it all over my floor? And then what? The 1-year-old comes in, starts stomping around on it, kicking it all over my cupboards. I already got to replace my cupboards. I don't need that milk stain now either. But, anywho, I played a bunch of video games this weekend. Me and the oldest played a little bit together. He was getting fancy with Mario 64, which was very lovely. He also played an old Sonic the Hedgehog game too. Not on the original hardware, but on the Switch there. We have it downloaded through the eShop. But we did a little bit of that, and I played Final Fantasy VII for hours once everybody went to bed. It was like 3 o'clock Sunday morning. I was like, holy shit. Okay, and I got pretty far in it too. I'm like, I'm done with the first disc, basically. Essentially, I'm done with the first disc of the game already. But I played that a little bit. Then when I was done with that, I got on some YouTube and started looking at shit. Started checking out what's up with the deal with the new consoles coming out. The new Xbox Series X and that PS5. I'm pretty excited for the latter there. Not that the Xbox doesn't look great. It looks awesome. Xbox has always been graphically superior to PlayStation. I'll admit that. Yeah, but I'm not one of those guys who, I'm not one of those people that's like a fanboy of a certain like console of a certain company. I do like PlayStation better. It is my main thing. That's mainly because it has more of the games I like to play on it, and most third-party games come to the PlayStation as well as the Xbox. So it's not like I'm worried about missing out on a game. And I do have an Xbox. I have an Xbox One. It's in the bedroom, but it's basically a glorified, Netflix machine because I played the games I wanted to play on it. I played the Gears of War series on there. I played the new Halo, the newest Halo, I should say. And then other than that, that's it. Like they have Forza, and I'm not a fan of racing games, so for me to want to play that it's not going to happen. So the two series that I like on that system, I played them. So now it just kind of sits back there collecting dust, just spraying it out with duster every 3 weeks because it hasn't been turned on. I don't play the fucking games on it like I normally do. So I mean, the chances are I'm going to get a PS5 before I get an Xbox, but I don't know if I'm going to get it right away. I'm not, my buddy of mine already put in a pre-order for his. I was like, you go ahead and you do that. You tell me what's wrong with it, and I'll get one when, like, the next model or the model after comes out. Because last time I bought a game system at launch was the Xbox 360, and we all know, if you're a gamer, you all know what the fuck happened with that and how that was a miserable mess. I mean? I had the original one, and I had that thing red ring on me twice. And I had to send it back into Microsoft. It cost them a lot of fucking money to do all that shit, to fucking fix all those consoles. So I'm sure I'm not the only one who had that issue. I'm sure there's plenty of people who had more rings on it than I did. I mean? Because I'm not, not like I once was. I'm not a super hardcore gamer. I'm somewhere between casual and hardcore-ish. I'm not hardcore enough to play online with all these fucking teenagers, but I'm also not casual enough that my game system's not turned on at least, once a week. Well, I mean, it has to be once a week for me because I work throughout the week and I don't really get to play much throughout the week. But on the weekend, it's on. I'm playing something. I'm doing something. I couldn't play online nowadays. Fucking all these kids and shit, all the bots that they have going on, and like the hackers, basically just a bunch of cheaters. And even the ones that don't cheat are so fucking good. I'm getting shot. I respawn, I get shot. I respawn, I get shot. I don't feel like playing a game online with other people and just listening to these fucking 12-year-olds telling me how they're gonna fuck my mom. So I stay away from the online scene now. Not, maybe back in like mid-2000s when the 360 and the PS3 had that online service that they had. Xboxes was way superior to PlayStation's, and that's what I played on was the Xbox one. I didn't get a PS3 till like, shit, I think the PS4 was already out. And I didn't get a PS4 until, 2 or 3 years ago. So, I mean, I've ever since the Xbox 360 days, I stayed a console generation behind. Usually it's like midway through the generation before I start picking anything up for it because I don't really see there being a point. They're still making PS4 games right now. It's not like I'm going to not have anything to play. Plus I have a Switch too, so it's not like I don't have games to play. But I usually wait just because, like I said, the bugs, sometimes there's not bugs, sometimes they're perfect, you know what I mean? Sometimes. But if you look at like the PS4, that thing ran hot. That thing ran super hot. Now the PS5 that's coming out, it runs cool now, I guess. They have, it's supposed to be like a fucking 1.5 foot system. So they have all this room in there for airflow to get in. So hopefully that'll keep stuff nice and cool, and it'll keep the system running longer. Because I like to keep my hardware. I'm not one of those people that trades in my stuff. I put it back in the box, and then I set it, down in the game room there, where all my nerd shit is. And I just set it in there, And then, if I feel like playing it again someday, I pull it out and I can play it. I mean, that's why I still have my old Nintendo down there. I got my old Sega Dreamcast, fucking the original Xbox, a bunch of GameCubes. I have a bunch of fucking Nintendo GameCubes. I don't know where the fuck I accumulated all of them, but I got them and I play them. You know what I mean? Every now and then I'll hook them up and I'll play some old game. But the thing is, a lot of games now, like if you have an Xbox, you can play all those old games on the Xbox. The backwards compatibility that Microsoft has done with the Xbox, even the Xbox 360 I think had some. But the way they've done backwards compatibility is just prime. It is awesome to be able to take an old disc, put it in your Xbox One, and play it. I mean, yeah, you have to download an update or something like that, but to be able to sit down and play, Panzer Dragoon Orta on your Xbox One is phenomenal. They've done such a good job with that, and PlayStation, Sony, they've dropped the ball with that. Once the PlayStation 3 came out, after that it was it. PS1, great. PS2, awesome. You were able to play the old PS1 games and PS2 games, and it was a fucking DVD player. So it's no wonder that thing won, that console generation. Of course it did. That was one of the best. That's why I think it's the best-selling console ever. It was awesome. Then the PS3 came out at fucking $600 for weak-ass memory that it had on it. But had that, the first model was able to play PS2 and PS1 games, which was awesome. I mean, that is backwards compatibility at its best right there. Considering Sony had, a huge library on both the PS1 and the PS2, and then they had the PS3 come out, whatever games you had for that, and then you could play the PS2 and the PS1 games on it, dude. There was no reason, back then it was all right. You could just sell that old stuff because you had the PS3. You could play all them games if you wanted. I know a lot of people didn't. I didn't, but even still. And then they came out with the other models of it, which were only backwards compatible with the PlayStation 1, which I guess there was some licensing issue, I guess, back in the day for the PS2, like the hardware that it used to play the games. Well, once those other models came out, they took that hardware out, probably to cheapen up the system too. Because, I mean, it was fucking $600. It was $600 for a fucking, I think for the top tier, PlayStation. Then the other one was still $500. I mean, this is in 2006. Nobody wanted that shit. I mean, a lot of people did. A lot of people, like I said, are diehard fanboys of, certain companies. And, back then, people were like, well, I'm buying a Sony regardless. I'm buying a PlayStation, whatever. I bought a Xbox 360 because, well, for one, it was like $300 or $400 for, the one, just the I don't know if it was the top model. I think it might have been the top model even. Had the 100 or the 60 gigabyte hard drive or whatever. And I bought that and I played the shit out of that. And they had the online, the great online. The presence wasn't very good because of all the shit people that were on it, but it was still fun. It was great. Granted, you had to pay for it, but, $60 a year is not that much. That's not bad to pay for an online service. Now it's even better because it's got, you got that Game Pass and stuff like that, so it's not like you're missing out on anything now. That Game Pass is sweet because you get like a couple free games every month, or every month you get like a couple free games. Plus there's other games that they have that they stream. Like there's the streaming from the cloud or whatever, I guess. It's a great application to have that Game Pass and stuff. Plus with the online, it's wonderful. But yeah, I played on the Xbox 360. I remember I bought Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 when that came out, and I was hooked. That was it for me right there. I played that forever. Me and my buddies, we got on there. We played the shit out of it. You know what I mean? And there were days my cousin would come over, and we'd be sitting there. We'd be playing all night long, just getting baked, playing fucking games. And I would work in the morning because I was still working at that restaurant, and I would open, and I would get up in the morning at like 9 o'clock because I had to be there by like 10 or something like that. I only lived like a block and a half away from this place. But I would wake up at 9 o'clock and his ass would still be at the edge of my fucking bed. Fucking whole pack of cigarette smoke, bong still burning, just red-eyed as all hell, playing Call of Duty still. He's just like, oh yeah, I prestiged you again last night. I'm just like, what? He's like, yeah, I did, such and such and such. Like, Jesus Christ. All these online achievements we were breaking and stuff. Like, so it wasn't all me. It wasn't just all me playing. Like, it was also my cousin. He definitely had quite a bit of a helping hand in that. It was a 50-50 effort between the two of us to do what we did there. But yeah, I haven't decided what I'm gonna do this time around. Now, I mean, obviously, it's probably not. I don't want to say financially in my best interest because I'm not poor, but I also have 3 kids I have to worry about. So for me to go out and buy one right now, right before Christmas and everything like that, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So I'll probably wait until I might even wait until like next year. They come out with like a special edition or something like that. Maybe I'll buy that. Once they start coming out with special editions, or if they don't really do that, or they have a little price drop, I might just do that because I don't want to fucking spend $500 right now. Not that $500 is a whole lot of money. I mean, it is, but that's like the standard nowadays. Every console system's every video game console is like $500 when it comes out. So it's not like it's absurd to hear that. Granted, there were rumors that this one was going to be more expensive, which probably would have, put a lot of people, mostly casual people, off. They'd have been like, no, I'm going to wait till that price drops or something like that. Or they'll just do what I did and stay a console generation behind, because that's what I did. When the PS4 came out, I was like, I cannot afford $500 right now. I wasn't in a good place. You know what I mean? I was still fucking living in a goddamn trailer park, fucking just barely getting by. I could barely make my fucking truck payment. Why would I go and spend $500 on that? It wasn't until I found out my wife was pregnant that I was like, okay, I guess I need to sack up a little bit. I need to sack up. And I did. I got a better job while I was still living there, so I started making more money regardless. And that's when I bought, because I first bought an Xbox One whenever I got the job. Not when I first got the job, but when I first wanted to get a video game system, I got an Xbox One because I had an Xbox 360. I loved that system a lot. You know what I mean? There was a big lull in between video game systems for me, because there was a point where I couldn't really buy anything. You know what I mean? I was poor, so I just didn't. Now, not that I didn't play video games still. I did play a little bit, just not as much as I did before or do now. But I got the Xbox One, and it was just, I don't know, it was just too, not difficult. Like, I could navigate the UI pretty well. Like, it wasn't like I can't get it to work. It's not like I was 75 years old trying to fucking hook this up. It was just that, like, it wasn't a big thing to me. It didn't stand out. It didn't make me go, wow. You know what I mean? Even though it looked great, because I bought it with Mortal Kombat, I think. I bought it with the new Mortal Kombat 10 game, and then I think it was something else I bought too. And, I played it, whatnot. But then after a while, it was just like, I don't want it anymore. I didn't fucking want it anymore. I traded it in, and I got a PS4, and I got like a couple Wii U games, because we also got a Wii U when that came, not when it came out, but a little bit afterwards. And that was a bit of a failed system, but I enjoyed it very much. So I still, well, not really anymore. It's packed away now. Now that we got the Switch, we packed the Wii U away, because it was mostly just a big Just Dance machine. But I traded in. I got the PS4, and then I played on that. I got the Slim version. It came with Uncharted, so I went out. I got all the Uncharted games, even though my roommate at the time had a PS3 and had the first like 3 Uncharted games. I saw them because we played them together, and it came with Uncharted 4. I bought that. I played that. I was like, shit, this thing is fucking awesome. And then, The Last of Us was out at the time. A couple other games were out that were really good. And then I eventually went and bought my own PS3 after having a PS4. I bought a PS3 because there was a bunch of games on that I wanted to play, just because they were on the PS3. It's what my roommate had, so I'm like, I'm gonna grab some of these games. Did that, played the PS4 or played the PS3 a little bit. Still had the PS4 hooked up. and then fuck. After that, about 2017, 2018 is when those fucking heavy hitters came out. Like the Persona 5s, the God of Wars, Horizon Zero Dawn, just fantastic games. Doom came out in 2016. That was such a sweet game. Like, that's when it really started getting heavy. That's when I feel like the best games come out for a console, is more towards the end of its life cycle, because everyone knows how to work the hardware now. Everybody knows what they need to do with it. They know how to utilize every piece of RAM, every little bit of hardware that's in there. So it makes it, a little easier to make, maybe not easier, but it makes it a much better experience, especially when the games you're making are going to be so much better because you know how to use this stuff. There's no limitations anymore besides what the console itself will allow. So, that's when I really started getting into it, and that's why, I feel as though I might wait. I might just wait on the PS5. I might just wait. Well, it all depends. It all depends on what happens. We'll see how it works. I'll find out when my buddy gets his console. If there's any fucking bugs or little mishaps going on with it. Because I don't want to have to deal with the Xbox 360 deal all over again. That was trash, just to fucking send it back in twice for it to break on me again. I ended up getting a new Xbox 360 too. After that, it was the like the E version or something like that. It had the built-in hard drive. It just looked like a VCR. It was nice. It worked. You know what I mean? That's all that mattered to me. I didn't want to fucking, I didn't want to go. I wasn't gonna go spend on a brand new console, but they were getting rid of it, so I got it. I cleaned it up, and it works fine. Works great. I mean, even the Xbox One, I didn't even get that till last year, a year and a half ago, maybe. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here with the old with the old console release. See how that works out. Maybe I'll fucking go and buy one. Maybe I'll go and buy one. Maybe I'll wait a minute. I'm probably gonna wait a minute. Like I said, $500 before Christmas. That's that's fucking toys for all my goddamn kids, pretty much. At least for now. Right now they're fucking. The oldest one is 4. He'll be 5, but they're still little kids. They're not they're not fucking worried about the Xbox One or Series X or whatever. I mean, by the time they're really into video game systems, it won't really matter because I'm gonna own them all. I mean, I always get them. I always get the game systems because I play them. Or they might just not even be into it at all. They'll see that their dad's into it and they'll be like a fucking loser. So we'll see what happens about that. We'll see how that works out. Luckily for me, there's plenty of YouTube channels out there that'll keep me updated on these new consoles when they come out. People will review them. I know there's a couple good games coming out for each system. I'll just continue to watch the YouTube news on it and see what they all say about it. I'm sure there's gonna be Let's Plays and shit about that. Displaying the graphics and all that shit about it. So we'll see what's going on. Oh, some traffic. Oh yes, traffic, my favorite. This guy's a jackass. Don't worry, I'll let you over, buddy. Even though you couldn't see the arrow from, a mile back. You had all kinds of fucking footage to get over. But no, I'll wait till I'm up at the very fucking end of it. You fucking cocksucker. Anyway, yeah, thank God for YouTube and that kind of shit. Otherwise, I wouldn't know, what's going on. I don't watch the actual news. I don't, I see shit on Facebook too, I guess. But, I actually, me and a buddy of mine were actually, before I started doing this, a buddy of mine and I were planning on doing a little YouTube channel, a gaming YouTube channel. It's basically a Let's Play. It's basically a ripoff of like the Game Grumps, but that never really happened. Nothing ever really came about it. We did record a bunch of shit. You go on my computer at home, there's a whole bunch of recordings, video and audio of us talking and stuff. It just, we put it on Facebook. It just nothing ever came about it. We didn't really sell it that often either. We didn't really, you know, we didn't get the word of mouth out like we should have. Like we told people about it, but nobody really told people about it after we told them. So it just kind of sits there. It's still up too, I think. I'm probably going to go through and delete it all because there's no real point to have it. If we really wanted to, I could reuse that footage if I had to. We played a lot of cool games too. We played, first game we played was Sonic 2 because it was like, well, here's the game that'll take me, an hour to beat. You know what I mean? That's if I don't try and, get everything. If I don't try to do all the special stages and shit. If I just play the game, it'll take, an hour, maybe an hour and a half to beat. I think we did it like 3 or 4 episodes or whatever. 3 or 4, 25-minute episodes. It was like an hour and a half of shit. But we did that. We played Doom, the 2016 one. We played Kingdom Hearts 2. We played, what else did we play? We played Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. That's an awesome game. If you ever played that, I would try that out. It's a good, fun game to play. What else did we play? My cousins played Madden 95 on the Sega Genesis. That was pretty fantastic. Me and my cousin played Battletoads, which we did horrible at. Actually, it was Battletoads cross Double Dragon, so it was pretty fun. But then we played, what else did we play? Just a bunch of other random games. We were going to play Final Fantasy at one point, the original one, but that just didn't happen. Just never got around to it. And then we just kind of stopped doing it because, for him to come over every weekend and us to, have the time to do it. Not that we didn't have the time, but, we had other shit to do. And it was just not really a lost cause, but I don't think we took it as seriously as we should. I mean, I took it as seriously as I possibly could. I got all the shit. I got the Elgato and, the footage capturing devices and things like that. It was just, time constraints. And, after a while, it was just like, I don't know. Not that we only did it for a couple months. Not like we were expecting to be like booming with subscribers or anything like that. But like I said, it was just something that, it took time out of our actual day, which, I mean, I didn't have much of. He has a little more than I do because he has no kids or anything like that. But, he has other stuff he wants to do, I'm sure. There's no reason, can't expect somebody to drop what they're doing and be like, yeah, I'll come over and do this shit every weekend. It's not exactly easy. Plus, it was also 2018 or 2017 when it happened. That was 2018 because my second child was born. But we got in the game late. Just like I'm getting in the game late right now with this podcast. I mean, it may not be anything. It may not come to anything. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not doing anything else besides working right now. It's not like I'm really taking time out of my day. I'm already at work. I'm already doing shit. I mean, whether or not I'm doing this, I'm still at work. I'm still working. I mean, I'm still just driving. It's not like, I'm sitting at home and be like, oh, gotta do my podcast now. Like, I don't have no clout for that. I can't fucking just make a podcast of me doing shit at home. Oh, I'm starting to wash my dishes now, and oh shit, I'm out of Dawn dish soap. Like, it's just, it's much easier this way. Because at least now, with this, I have a little bit to offer. You know what I mean? I can tell you a little bit about my job. I can tell you what I'm doing, basically. I can tell you, obviously I'm telling you what's going on in my life at the same time and shit that I'm into. But like I said, I have a little bit more to offer while I'm doing this, while I'm doing my actual job, than if I'm just sitting at home, changing, my fucking kid's diaper. So a little bit right now, this being in the first few episodes, it's not like I know what I'm really doing. It's still a work in progress yet. I mean, the only real experience I have with talking over a fucking microphone is that old podcast. And I had somebody there that was with me where we could bounce ideas and shit off each other, make it a little bit more funnier. With this, it's just me. I'm just talking to my windshield right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, you might be listening. You might not be listening. You're probably not listening right now. I mean, this is what, episode 3? Yeah, no, there's no way anybody's listening right now. But down the line, I may have some listeners, and maybe they're interested to hear what it's like here on Interstate 81. See how, all the shit drivers and all the shit people I got to deal with. Even though, this is my first episode, I had a lot more to talk about because it's the first thing. I was just going off about my job. Even the second episode, I was just going off, rambling about, things in my job and, the whole union thing. This here, I'm just kind of going off stuff that, I know about. I know about video games, so I was talking about video games. I know about driving trucks, so I'm talking about driving truck. It's not like, it's not like I have a real plan anytime I put this headset on and hit record. At some point I'm going to have to start, pulling some stuff out, give myself little references throughout the podcast just so I can somewhat keep somebody's attention. But like I said, it's a little different considering I'm by myself, talking to myself. I don't have my buddy to bounce ideas off of. It's not like he can say something and then we just go into a conversation about it like we used to. Now I'm just kind of, well, hey, this happened, or how was your weekend, yada yada. Like I said, I'm going to try and put this out at least 2 times a week, maybe 3 if, I get bored. Sometimes I get bored and I'm just like, maybe I can just start talking about shit. Because I'll sit here and, like I said, I'll daydream and fucking, not really daydream because I got to pay attention, but like stuff will come to my mind and then I'll be like, oh, that should have been fucking recorded. So I may or may not do this another day a week. Who knows? As of right now, I'm only trying to do 2 a week just to fucking get my feet wet. Because, let's be honest, I mean, this is 1 out of a million fucking podcasts that are out right now. It's not like I have, any real following or anything. It's not like I have, not like I already have my foot in the door. I'm just trying to, get out there, trying to talk to people. This isn't fucking the Joe Rogan podcast. It's not like everybody already knew who I was, and now I'm doing a podcast. And they're like, oh, well, I should listen to this. It ain't like that. I mean, maybe someday, maybe one of these days it'll happen. But as of right now, I'm just trying to shoot the shit. I'm just trying to, like I said, get myself out there, get a little known. People can be like, oh, yeah, let's listen to this guy. He makes me laugh a little bit. He has somewhat educational shit. It's mostly going to be, it'll probably be other people that are into, driving truck or playing video games like I am. But, man, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck off the road. I don't understand. I don't understand why you can't just drive. You can't just fucking, you can either, if you do the speed limit, like at exactly the speed limit, I understand that. I can't bitch at you for that. But if you're doing fucking 10 miles under the speed limit, get the fuck off the highway. I can't stress that enough. Get the fuck out of here. There's no reason for you to be up here. If I was doing fucking 55 in this rig, people would be cussing me out. Even the people that only do 60 and a 65 would be cussing me out. You're only doing 55. I'm at least doing only 5 under the speed limit. Go eat a dick, man. You shouldn't be on the highway if you're not going to... The highway is for getting somewhere faster. That's why it's called a highway. So you can go a little faster. You know what I mean? You can get to your destination a little quicker. Because you're not, you're not impeded by, speed limits, lower speed limits on these back roads. Like on these state routes and shit, where it's, 40 or 35. You can do 65 miles an hour. and not have to fucking worry about it, until, somebody fucks up and then there's an accident, which happens quite a bit. I'll tell you what, when there's, people, there's a lot of fucking accidents on this stretch of highway. I can tell you right now, fucking, even going fast, man, even going fast is dangerous too. That's why if you're going to do, I recommend doing the speed limit or 5 miles above it. If you're fucking just flying, like this fucking clown is flying up my left side right now, yeah, he's probably doing fucking 85, 90 miles an hour. But it's almost a death sentence too. Either way you look at it, it's a death sentence. But nobody's ever on the same page. Everyone's always worrying about themselves, which I get it. Especially this guy's from New York. He don't give a shit. Fucking, but you go too fast. I mean, there was just last Friday, there was this wreck on 81. There was a big wreck. This car was wrapped around a fucking light post in the median between the highway and an exit ramp. And it's because I finally got the news source of it. This guy was doing, an unsafe speed, went to pass somebody, clipped this other car. They both spun out. He ended up, on the side of the road there, scraped up against the concrete barrier. Well, the other guy the other two people, I should say, flew up into the median, hit the fucking post, rolled around a bunch. Like, that car was fucked up, I'm pretty sure. And both of those people that were in that vehicle passed. They're not, that dude essentially could be charged with vehicular manslaughter now, twice, because if that was the case, there was other cars. There was a truck that was pulled over too. He probably caught the whole thing on his camera in his cab there, because a lot of these trucks have cameras in them. If he caught that on the cab and saw that dude was doing, unsafe, shitty things, there's a good chance that he's going to go to jail for that, because he was in a hurry to get nowhere. He was like, well, it says here I can make it there by 5:55. Well, I'm going to make it there by 5:45. And guess what? You're not making it there at all, because I can guarantee you they fucking took you to jail. And if they didn't, you're going to court and you're probably going to jail, because the families of those people are going to fucking sue. That's a wrongful death suit right there. And people are, that's why I don't fucking fly around. Granted, I can only do, 63 miles an hour on the highway, but I also have to pay attention more. I have to look way farther ahead. Everybody's looking straight at the road in front of them. I got to look, a mile down the road to see what's coming. It's not like I have time to stop. I mean, I do, but I need more of it. So, when I see that shit, it's just a shame. It's just a shame when you see that kind of stuff. But, hey, he may or may not learn his lesson depending on what happens. If he gets off with it scot-free, then no, he'll probably continue to do the shitty things he does. But if he does have to go to jail or, have to do something, he might think twice about going that high over the speed limit. Especially in a busy interstate. It was right around like the Harrisburg interchange. That's busy. It's the capital, man. It's the capital. That's a busy area. It's not like it's just, I'll just, fly around here. No, you can't do that shit, man. I'm fucking scolding you guys like you did it. I'm sure there's a couple speeders out there. I'm sure there's a couple people that have caused an accident. Hell, there might even be somebody out there who has caused an accident that resulted in death of the other party. Maybe you had to do fucking, 1 to 3 in fucking jail for, vehicular manslaughter. I don't know this. Maybe you're sitting there shaking your head. Yep, he's right. I fucked up. Now I'm one of those people that do 10 under the speed limit and stop on merge ramps. That's the bane of my existence right there. People that stop on merge ramps. Especially in like high traffic times or high traffic areas. That's a fucking terrible, terrible time. At least for me, having to come back out on the ramp like that, there's no way. There's no fucking way I can't pick up speed like that. It's so hard for me to get back on the fucking highway then. That's why I don't like, whenever I have to pull over for something, I hate having to pull over on the side of the highway. Put my 4-ways on and shit, because it's a burden to get back out. It's a burden to get back out on the highway, wait for a space, ride the berm for, however long until I get up to a decent speed, and then pull out, and people are coming up behind me fucking, oh, what the fuck, this guy, in my way, doing 35 now because I can't pick up speed the way others can, like a normal car. So, I don't know. It's something that we'll probably see on the news. They'll probably follow that shit on the news because it was a bad accident, man. It was a bad accident. And, it was closed for a while because I passed it 3 times. I passed it when it first happened, going southbound, and then I went back northbound again. A couple, like 2 hours later, it was still, backed up and shitty. And then I passed it again a couple hours later, coming back, and this was, 10:30 at night. It was still pretty backed up. And they had more lanes closed. It's a 3-lane highway around that area. They had the right 2 lanes closed. You had 1 lane to get over. And it was still a mess. They were still, I'm sure they were still doing some kind of investigation. They don't just leave and fucking wreck. And they're like, oh, yep, that's what happened, And like I said, that truck was still pulled over too. I'm assuming either he had it on camera or he was part of the accident somehow. Say no to drugs. There's a truck in front of me that says say no to drugs on it. Like a normal decal. Like it has the company name, the company number, and then right above it just says say no to drugs. Yeah, we all know how that worked out. We all know how DARE worked out for everybody. It was like, here's how you do them, here's where you get them, all right, don't do them. And they left. Fucking, what a joke that was. Everyone thought it was so cool because they had that lion as a fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Mascot. Yeah, it's just, that didn't work out very well. At least back when I was in school. Didn't stop me and a bunch of other people from fucking doing that shit. But, anywho, I'm actually going to deliver some more pillows again. Delivered more pillows. Well, pillows and bedding. And then I got to drop this trailer. Then I got to go down and pick up some pipe fittings. Bunch of heavy-duty pipe fittings for like sewers and stuff like that, sewage stuff, and plumbing, all that other stuff. They're big ones though. They're not like little. It's not like copper piping that I use in my house. It's like big, heavy-duty, like large pipes, and a lot of those big, heavy-duty, stainless steel elbows. Like this is for like sewage. Like they're making a whole sewage system with this stuff. And after that, I'll drive back, and they'll be like, all right, here's something else to do. And, maybe get some overtime in tonight. I don't know. We'll see. It's not like when I get home, anybody's going to be awake anyway, regardless. But, what is that smell? Something burning. No, it ain't my truck. It ain't me. Man, I was coming up this way a couple weeks ago. I was coming up this way, and right around like mile 100, there was a fucking fire, like a forest fire. Like the earth was on fire. It wasn't like a house or anything like that. Like trees and shit were burning up. It was wild looking. I saw all this smoke. I'm like, uh-oh. I came up to it. There's a goddamn oak tree next to the highway. I'm looking at it. It's on fire like a lit match. I was like, holy shit. I almost wanted to turn around and, see it again, but I don't got the means to do that. Not in a vehicle this big. But when I came back the other way, though I couldn't really see it, the fire itself, there was still a lot of smoke, and I saw fire trucks, so they must have been fighting it. Oh my God, why am I yawning? Probably because the kid kept me up all night. Well, most of the night. He hasn't been spacing out his feeding times very well. It's been pretty rough with him eating 2 ounces here, 2 ounces there. Usually he'll gobble down 5, 6, 7 ounces at a time, then he'll sleep for a couple hours. Didn't happen the last few nights. I can feel it. It's rough. Doesn't help with this shitty weather that we have right now. It's all gloomy and fucking dreary. You know, not raining, but it looks like it's gonna rain, or it's just cloudy and shitty. There's no sun. Temperatures are starting to drop, just making it less and less more fulfilling to go outside anymore. And I still need to mow my yard for a final time this year. You know, we're putting in a fence in a couple weeks, and I need to make sure that the yard is short, just so it's out. You know, it's not. We can see a little bit more when we're digging the holes, putting the quickcrete in. So we'll see how well this works out. But I don't know. It's not. You know, it's not looking too friendly today. Just one of them days. You know, I wish I could live up in this area here that I'm at right now. Such a beautiful area. I would love to live up here. A little far away from everything. I think the closest shit's probably like at least a half-hour drive away, but up here in the mountains, man, it's super nice. You know, trees everywhere, nice, fresh, cleaner air. It's not being polluted every day by fucking all these other factories that I'm around. You know, not that I live in like a very polluted area, but I mean, there's a Walmart 5 minutes from my house, but I still live in kind of the boonies. It's just, I don't know, it's just a nice area up here. You know, if it wasn't so far away, I probably would have looked into moving up around here. But I do like where I'm at now. I like to stay close to my area. I like to stay close to my work, close to my family, kind of deal. Maybe one of these days I'll move somewhere a little farther away, depending on what I'm doing, or at least in a different area, like a different direction of where I'm at now. I'm still in the same county that I grew up in, and it's just a pain in the ass, just because I know everything around that area. I know everything about it, so it's not like it just gets old after a while seeing the same shit over and over again. You know, not that I'm upset about that, but I don't know. A new change of scenery is always good. Even though the place I'm living at now is a new change of scenery to me, because I didn't grow up in that area. My wife grew up in that area. You know, I grew up in an area about a half hour away from it. Just, you know, not that I never went to the area or saw shit, but I was always a good ways away. You know, so it's a little, like I said, it's a little bit new to me. It's not you know, it's still fresh to me for right now. Holy shit, man, how much weight are you carrying that you're doing that fucking speed limit? Yeah, going up a mountain in these trucks, man, they just, if you have any sort of weight, if you're a heavy weight, man, you're not getting up these hills very quick. These hills are brutal up here. You get up in the mountains here. You know, I don't know why they kept these as 2-lane highways. Well, 4-lane highways. Should be a 6. That way they have that extra lane for trucks, but you know, smarter people than me run the state, or so I think. You know, I know I've seen a lot of the stuff the old governor's been saying, and I don't know too well about him. I'm not a political person whatsoever. I keep any view I have on politics, I usually keep it to myself, because there's always going to be somebody that, well, this is why you did this, and you don't know what you're talking about because such and such. You're right, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's why I don't talk about politics. You know, everything I see, like on Facebook, is all political. It's all about politics and why this person with this color tie should be doing this, and the other color tie is doing this wrong, and it's just a pain in the ass. I don't give a shit what color tie you fucking vote for. Just don't be a cunt. That's the only thing. Just don't be a fucking asshole, and people might take you a little more seriously. You know, I see the wrongs and the rights from both sides, and it's crazy because once you bring that up to either side, they're like, nuh-uh, and they start getting all fucking childish about it. It's like, why do you got your blinders on for that? Like, these are the people that are supposed to be running our country. You know what I mean? The people that are supposed to, you know, making the laws, making sure that, you know, shit's taken care of. And when they fuck up, you're just like, well, he did all this other stuff. I'm like, so what? What about the stuff that matters now? This stuff that he's talking about matters now. And he's just like, fuck it. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, this whole fucking COVID thing is just, I'm over it. I'm over it. You know, I wish people would have worn the mask, but I get why they don't. Do they really help? Nobody knows. Nobody knows if they really help. Not even not even, the chief medical advisor knows if they actually help. That fucking CDC website was updating so much, you just don't know what to believe. Now, obviously, I'm going to continue to wear a mask. I'm going to continue to wear the mask. I'm going to listen to science. I'll listen to the scientists, not the Google doctor moms. You know, ooh, babies, especially with a newborn baby. Fuck that. You know, babies need viruses. Well, I don't think they need this one. You know, if they gets a cold, whatever. He got the cold. You know, and he'll fight it off. It's gonna strengthen his immune system. This seems like a whole different thing, a whole different ball game. You know, granted, it has a high survival rate and everything like that. You know, but the thing is, there's still people that did survive it who are still having lasting effects from it. It just seems, it just seems very fishy to me. You know, how this whole thing is being played out, how, everything's being portrayed. You know, one side says it's dangerous, the other side says it's not dangerous. You know, there's people in the middle saying it is, but it isn't. It's like, I don't know who to believe. I'm just going to do what I always do. I'm going to wear a mask and stay the fuck away from people because, I don't like to be around people to begin with that often. And what really pisses me off about it is like a lot of companies are saying, oh, we're doing this for, the benefit and the safety of our customers and staff. Well, here's an idea. Walmart was a 24-hour, operation. It was open 24 hours a day. I did all my shopping at night because I didn't get off till late. So I would go and I would shop at nighttime along with a bunch of other people. Now, they shut everything down. They fucking they're only open 12 hours now. They're open from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. They might be open till 10 now, depending on what Walmart you go to. But they just fucked up because they took all that fucking time that people like me, people that work third shift, the late night crew basically, they made all those people that would go at nighttime now have to go at a fucking time where everybody else is shopping. So they just made everybody cram together even more because they decide to change their hours up. They don't want to be open 24 hours. Well, now all these people have to shop in this 12 to 14 hour window now. They can't just be there at nighttime whenever they used to do it, where there was less people. No, now you've made more people have to come in a smaller amount of time because it's because of this whole thing. Where you could have just stayed 24 fucking hours and people wouldn't have been around as much. Now, there's so many people in Walmart right now. There's so many fucking people in Walmart right now because now they can't just shop at night anymore. They have to be there within this certain time period. You could have just left your fucking hours alone and mandated the masking like you did, and you would have had, the same amount of people, I'm sure. But now you have everybody in there at that one time, making it even more dangerous. Because I go in them places sometimes. When I go into Walmart, because I have to go at, in the afternoon now because I can't go when I get off work at nighttime. Go in there and now it's crowded. It's so crowded to the point where, like, it doesn't matter if you're wearing a mask. That 6 foot fucking social distancing doesn't mean shit now. You know what I mean? And they put all these fucking decals on the fucking ground. Oh, walk this way, don't enter this way. That's so fucking stupid. Nobody's going to listen to it. I don't listen to it, because fuck that. That's a pain in the ass. I'm not learning your fucking route. It's not like I'm, I got to plan out a fucking shopping trip now? Like I plan out my fucking route to go to, like, my grandmother's house? No, that's garbage. Walmart dropped the ball right there. I think Walmart dropped the fucking ball because I feel like that and a bunch of other places. All these other places that were fucking, the grocery stores that were 24 hours, gas stations, the only ones that fucking didn't really change. Most of them are all still 24 hours. You know what I mean? They just don't let as many people in the building. But if you're not like a big chain gas station, if you're just a fucking Turkey Hill on the side of the road or a speedway, chances are you're not going to have more than fucking 7 or 8 people in there at a time. And it's just, I don't know. It bugs the shit out of me because they could have just left it alone. They could have stayed 24 hours and people would have been just as distant as they once were. They made it worse by making everybody shove into this fucking store in this 12 or 14 hour period and have no choice but to be close to all these people. Whereas a lot of other people would have probably went in at nighttime afterwards then. It was like, oh, I'll just shop later at night when there's less people. Would have evened out a little bit. But I feel like I think they made it worse. I think, I'm not blaming Walmart not that I think Walmart's very smart anyway. They're kind of a shit company as far as, when it comes to management and their super rich owners. But I know they fucked up. It's like, oh, it's for the safety of our employees. Your employees are now going to be around probably, 20% more, 20 to 35% more people now because you shut down, your night shift. So now they're going to have to deal with all these people coming in this small amount of time. And it's fucking things up. I know it's fucking things up. There's no way that made it any fucking safer. Same with the grocery stores. Same with the fucking grocery stores. You should have just kept yourselves open 24 hours. You should have stayed open 24 hours a day, and that would have that would have significantly done something to social distancing. But you had to shut it all down. Now all these people, all the people that shop in that Walmart in the area, now have to fucking go in this small amount of time, this smaller amount of time. And there's going to be a shit ton of people in there. They can only go in one entrance now. You know what I mean? Are you serious? Now everybody has to not only crowd around in the store, everybody's going to be in that fucking store all together now, but now they all have to crowd around this one entrance, entering and exiting. They have to fucking go into the one door. You're telling me that's safe? How does that make it any fucking safer? There's no way. I don't believe that. I don't believe that makes it any safer. I believe that just fucks it all up. Leave both entrances open. That's less people per door. Statistically, that's less people per door. You know what I mean? Same thing with the fucking hours, man. That's less people in your facility at these amount of hours. I feel like you're going to drastically cut the social distancing ordinance. The people that are not following it, because there's no way to follow it now. Nobody's 6 feet apart when they fucking go into Walmart at fucking noon. Nobody. It's not like, I get why they did it. They thought, oh, this will cut down on, our employees and shit, which I guess is good for their employees, but there's still people working there. But what about all the people now? All the general public is all going to be there. They're all going to be there in that little window of time. When you have you have this extra 12 to 10 hours afterwards that, you could have had fucking people shopping then. You know what I mean? It's not like you have that many fucking employees anyway working, because even during the daytime, you don't have any fucking people running those registers. You only have 3 fucking registers open, and then you have the self-checkout open because it's more beneficial and more profitable for you to have us check our own shit out, which I get. But when I go in there in fucking noon and it's filled with fucking people and you have 3 fucking registers open, that's an issue. That is a goddamn issue. You know what I mean? All you would have had to do is just leave the fucking place running 24 hours and nothing would have changed. You just would have been like, oh, masks, just make sure you stay away from people. It would have been so much easier. It would have been so much fucking easier to do that. But now it's impossible because, you're shut down. You're not open anymore like that. You don't have that fucking 24-hour shit. And now everybody's crammed into this fucking sardine can of a store for fucking, in that 12 to 14-hour period. It's upsetting to me because I don't like going shopping at that fucking time. I did all my shopping at nighttime. All of it. I got off work late. I would go to the store late. I'd put my groceries away late. There's no fucking reason that they had to shut down and make it more difficult for people like me and other night shift people, and other people that just didn't like to shop during the day. That wanted to shop, early morning, late night. But now they have to do that because you fucking made it, you made it that way. You know, I feel like that was a big fuck up, especially, you know, on Walmart and all these grocery stores that were 24 hours. Any 24-hour place that was, you know, that was open, you know, 24 hours, people shopped at night, you fucked up because I don't feel like you didn't help that social distancing very well. You didn't help that rule out at all. It was just something that you thought you could do to alleviate basically your employees. Yeah, some of your employees are a little safer, but guess what? The employees that are there right now, you know, surrounded in a swimming pool of fucking people, no social distancing, nothing but a fucking plastic barrier to fucking keep them, you know, at least keep the fucking spit from some of them fucking shoppers there, fucking Walmart people that you get. You know, I feel it was a bit of a fuck up on your part there to do that. Should have stayed open 24 hours. But hey, what do I know? I mean, I don't run a business. I don't run a business. I don't fucking, you know, I'll just go and shop when I can because we don't have a fucking choice now, do we? But I gotta pause this for a minute. I apologize. All right, where was I? Oh yeah, that's right. Uh, Stores should have stayed open 24 hours. Anyway, sorry I had to go and get some freight unloaded. Looks like they were missing a piece. Looks like somebody forgot to fucking load it. But what would I expect? I work with a lot of geniuses, and all the good help is either retiring or honestly just doesn't give a shit. It's it's pretty sad, man. The way these businesses are going. You know, usually it's just a couple new guys or a couple people who just don't really give a fuck. But in this case, especially in a lot of trucking, nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. You know, they should. You know, they need a job. I need a job. It's not like it's a bad job. Not like it's a hard job. It's a respectable job. Decent, decent benefits to it. But yeah, some people you can't. Some people just can't change. Some places, I know the management isn't exactly top notch there. So I know it's not hard to make a good worker into a bad one. You know, we'll see. We'll see how shit pans out in the next couple of years here. But either way, I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. So yeah, it's fucking. Oh man, it's cold. It's cold up here now. It's a little chilly up here now. I'm glad I brought my sweatshirt, man. It's actually like 56 degrees up here. I mean, I am in the mountains a bit, but damn, I wasn't expecting this. I'm about to go down. Woo! I'm about to go down the mountain here soon. See if temperature changes at all. But yeah, it's starting to get a little chilly. Winter's coming, especially in Pennsylvania. You know it because the first part of your day will be like a nice spring warmth, and then it'll turn to fall. Once the sun starts going down, it's basically autumn, and then once the sun is down, it's nighttime out. It's fucking 40 degrees out. I think the other night it was like 38 degrees at night now. I had to kick on the old fireplace and fucking get things heated up a little bit. I'm glad we have that fucking fireplace too, man, because we have an electric heat pump at the house, and I those electric bills, we didn't have the fireplace running the first winter we lived there, and man, oh, did that fucking electric bill of mine jumped from the heat pump. Not only that, but like the downstairs doesn't get very warm either, you know, because it comes from the top, heat rises, so it'll heat up the upstairs pretty nice, but downstairs it stays a little chilly down there. So I'm glad we had that fireplace, and that'll heat up the downstairs, and it comes upstairs. The only thing that sucks is it doesn't make it back to the bedrooms there a little bit, back where because it'll come up the steps into like the living room and the kitchen. There's a vent in the kitchen right above where the fireplace is downstairs, and it'll heat up there really nice, but it won't get back to the bedrooms very well. I'm probably gonna go and get a get some vents put in the bedrooms, maybe something like that. something that'll let the heat go up that way, so the kids, our room and the kids' room isn't like 66 degrees while the rest of the house is 74. That's the only real issue, and a fan only works so well. But other than that, I love that thing, man. That was one of the selling points to the house because it's a propane fireplace, which I mean isn't super efficient, but I could convert it to a wood fireplace if I wanted to pretty easily. But the propane, it works. It heats it up pretty quick. Like I say, it's not terrible. It's not the least efficient thing ever, but I mean, it's still using something that I kind of only have a limited resource of. I mean, I have to get the thing filled up, which only costs, a couple $100, so it's not a big deal. But that's the main heat source. That's the main heat source, and boy, oh boy, does it work. Sometime, man, last year when I came home, my wife didn't turn the fucking fireplace off, and that son of a bitch, the downstairs temperature was 84 or 85 degrees in the downstairs area, which is plenty fucking warm. That's summertime right there. But then upstairs it was like 77 or 78. It was hot. But actually made its way back to the bedrooms a little bit too. It was like 73 or 74 back there. How much it was up there, or how long it was on for. And the other thing is, she had friends over that were sleeping, a friend of hers and her boyfriend, and they were sleeping downstairs next to the fireplace, and they were covered in blankets. I told him, I'm like, you could have just turned that shit off. Like, the next morning, I was like, you could have just turned that shit off, Oh, we didn't know how to. I'm like, it's a switch, man. It's a switch. Just turn it off. Unfortunately, we need to get a new insert because the remote doesn't work with a thermostat on it, so it doesn't turn off and turn on like I would like it to. I even replaced the batteries in it. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It worked when we first moved in. But there was no propane, so we didn't fucking use it. I didn't go and get an account with the propane people until the year after, because I saw those electric bills. I'm like, fuck, goddamn $250 electric bills. Whereas in the summer, when the AC is running all the time, it was only $120 at the most, I think. But that thing works wonders, especially when it's bitter cold out. Because we get some bitter cold days out here in PA, man. Like, there's some days where it's Arctic like. Especially a couple winters ago when we had like a week and a half or 2 weeks straight where it was easily in the single digits. Whoa. All right, come on. Yeah. We were in the single digits for like 2 weeks straight. Like, it was wild how cold it was. And it sucked because at the time we never had a place. This is the first house we ever built or bought. We rented stuff like that for most of the time me and my wife were together. But every place we've rented has been shitty in the winter. Like, it's always been cold. We're in a fucking trailer, and then that was always cold because obviously it's a trailer and it had oil heat. And not only that, but the vents were broken in like the bedroom and my bathroom, the one bathroom in it. So I had to get a fucking little electric heater just to put back there anyway. So our electric bill was still high, and then we were still paying, fucking $400 every fucking 3 months for oil to fill up the fucking tank. And then after we moved out of there, went to another apartment where it was like when you walked in, there was a downstairs area. It was just a big room and like a laundry area because it had a washer and dryer in it, which was super nice. And just a big room, and I was like, well, I'm gonna make this the game room. So we put like the TV and stuff down there, and fucking we still hung out upstairs, but most of the time we were downstairs playing games or whatever. This is before the first kid was born. This is while she was pregnant, actually. That's when we moved, because we're like, we can't have a fucking kid in this trailer, especially if he's due in the wintertime, whenever we can't fucking keep the thing warm. So, we fucking moved, and we got this place, and upstairs, and that one sucked because it was baseboard heat, so that was garbage right there. But the baseboard downstairs didn't fucking work for shit. Like, it worked, it kicked off heat, but I don't know if it just went right out the fucking door or right out the window, but it would not go above like 50 degrees in that downstairs area. So we had to move everything that I had upstairs, all the games and shit and all the, like the TV, and then the couch kind of just stayed down there, and the one dresser. But we moved that all upstairs, and even still, the only room that actually kept warm, so it was a 2-bedroom place, were kind of like the bedrooms. The bedrooms and the bathroom kind of did. The living room didn't stay too warm because there was always cold air from the stairs that led up into basically what was like a loft. You know what I mean? Which is where like the living room, kitchen, the bedrooms, and bathroom were. And it was a nice apartment. I did really like the apartment. Now, if I was just a single guy and living there, I would have lived there. It was really nice. I liked it. You know what I mean? It wasn't super bad rent. But the baseboard heat, man, it fucking killed. And it just, it just seemed like it all got sucked away by the older windows. Because it was an older place. The windows and shit like that weren't the greatest. But the living room and kitchen just seemed very cold. Not like super cold like the fucking trailer, but it was cold. And then when we moved out of there, we moved into another place. It was actually like a small house, like a cottage, right kind of by my father-in-law's place. We ended up paying him rent instead because he owns a big plot of land. He had a couple houses on there, and we got the one house. Obviously, it was the better of the houses because his daughter and his grandchildren were moving in there. But we lived in there, and again, it had fucking baseboard heat. I'm just like, man, why the fuck are you putting baseboard heat in here, dude? He's just like, oh, it was, quick and easy, and not that it wasn't like well insulated. It was, an insulated house, but just, the way they were spaced out was like almost too far. And again, the only room that actually got warm was the kids' room. You know what I mean? The bedroom got a little warm, but the kitchen, I don't even think had a heater in it. So the kitchen was always cold. The bathroom was pretty warm, but then the living room and the other dining room wasn't very warm. It was still kind of chilly in there. It was the only way that was, the only way it would keep heat is if like there was a door shut somewhere. And when you got in the living room and the dining room there, and then back the hallway, it was, it was an open plan pretty much. There was just some support beams and then, the mantle, but it was all opened up, so it was hard to keep it. It was hard to keep it warm. You know what I mean? So it was still a little chilly. The kids were all right. They, because we had the second one while we were living there. And then once we got out, we were looking to buy a house. I was like, this motherfucking house needs to have good heat. I want it to have fucking central air. Like that's I just want to have a decent sized basement. That's what I want. Like a decent sized lower level. And if it was like a basement, it needs to be finished. But we found this place, had an AC, had the central air unit, which fucking went out the second year we were there. We had to get all that shit replaced. The fucking outdoor unit and the heat pump and all that shit had to be replaced because it was like 14 years old or whatever. Didn't look super old, but had no Freon in it, and it was just leaking and shit. And there was like, might as well just get a whole new fucking thing. So we did, got a whole new thing, which sucked in the summertime because we had no AC, and I gave way. We had 2 window units, but we gave one to her friend and another one to my friend. So there was our, which was dumb of me. I should have just kept them and been like, oh yeah, we might use these at some point, but guess not. And then, we did that, got all that fixed up, but it had the fireplace, and I was just like, okay, it has a fireplace. And the realtor turned it on, and heat was kicking from it. I'm like, okay, all right, that's nice. Because I was like, I'm done living in houses that are always cold. I'm done getting places that are cold in the winter all the time. You know what I mean? For the most part, I had no issues keeping that apartment cool in the summertime, but obviously the trailer, you couldn't keep it cool. It was a fucking tin can. And then the house that we rented, you couldn't really keep cool because it was just kind of big, and there wasn't enough windows to just keep stacking AC units in there. It was just a pain in the ass. That's why I was like, we're getting, we're gonna, we bought this, had a new roof on it and shit like that. So we had new windows put in upstairs. I'm gonna do that downstairs at some point. But the upstairs is mostly the living space. Downstairs there's like a little living room area. There's 2 other rooms and a bathroom and the laundry room. But it keeps pretty cool throughout the summer because the cold air sinking and whatnot, and especially this summer when we got the new AC and stuff. That thing just blasted cold air with the nice new fans in there. But I was done being cold in the winter, and I turned that on. I'm like, okay, that works out. And then we didn't use it because there was no fucking propane. There was only a little bit of propane, so we used the heat pump, basically, or the heat pump, which comes from the attic and it goes down into got to the second floor wonderfully. It kept the upstairs really nice and toasty, but then downstairs it just didn't get it at all. But that first winter, we were able to use that fireplace. Oh man, was that so nice. Just coming home, and the fucking house is so warm, especially at the time because I was working out on the dock at the time. So it's an open dock, so it's like whatever the temperature is outside, that's what it is on that dock. So it was cold. You know what I mean? I was basically running a thing called a combo where I would start out on the dock, and if they needed me in the city or in the yard or whatever, I would go and do that. So I was on the dock, and I would come home, and I'm like, oh, that's so fucking nice. Upstairs was all nice and toasty. The only thing that sucked was, like I said, the back when the bedrooms were, it didn't get as warm, but it still got warm. And then we would, turn it off throughout the nighttime because, like I said, the remote's broke, so there's no way we could set a temperature to it. The heat pump would kick on like, 1 or 2 times throughout the night, maybe 3 times to keep the upstairs warm. And it worked. It kept the place nice and warm. That house holds heat pretty well, so our energy, definitely keeping all the energy that we're putting out in that house. I'm just very happy for that. It's not a perfect house. Definitely has some work that needs to be done. I know the plumbing in that place is atrocious. We're gonna have to go through the plumbing little by little throughout the years. We've already replaced some pipes from leaks and shit like that, but we're gonna have to continue to do more and more with that. We're gonna redo the bathroom upstairs, the bathtub, I should say, because everything else is all right. The floor's a little dated, just white with flower petals on it or whatever, and the the vanity's a little rough, but it's not that bad. And not only that, but the people that must have lived there before us, they must have been tall because they put the mirror up pretty high, like to the point where like, I'm not a tall guy. So like when I'm looking in the mirror, I can see like from the bottom of my neck, from like my shoulders up, whereas my wife can see like just the top of her head, basically. Like she can only see like from her nose up. So, that might need to be fixed at some point to get that to our level. And then I did find I know the old owners were tall because I found like a marker where they measured themselves and them kids, and the dude was like 6'4", 6'5". So, there's a reason that shit was up pretty high. But, that stuff's not really too worrisome. It's just the bathroom tub. We need to get the shower and shit replaced because that thing is like coming off the wall. We just need to get a whole new fucking tub and shower, the walls and everything, reseal it and stuff like that. That's a big thing. Another big thing is we need to get new cabinets, at least the lower level cabinets, because when the refrigerator line was leaking the one time, and it ruined the one cabinet that was beside the refrigerator. So we're going to have to get all new cabinetry on the bottom, at least on the bottom part. The top part's not bad, but we can just restain those probably. But the bottom needs new cabinets. And then we do want to replace the floor up there because the floor up there is like just kind of old. Just old, and like seems like some of the nails are starting to poke through a bit. So we want to replace that, which sucks because the kitchen floor is kind of big. our kitchen, well, the kitchen and the dining room are attached to each other, kind of. So it's the big fucking dining room, and our big fucking kitchen and dining. It's a big area. Probably not absurdly big, but it's big enough to the point where like it might cost a little bit of money. And then same with downstairs. We want to replace the floor downstairs. The floor downstairs is obviously just as big as like the upstairs living room and kitchen. Combined. Plus there's a hallway that leads back to the other bedrooms and the bathroom, and we want to replace that floor too. So, I mean, in all that stuff right there, we'll probably be able to do the fucking bathtub upstairs for, 1,000 to 15, and then the flooring is gonna be another fucking, 3 to 5,000 for upstairs and downstairs. And then the cabinets, I don't know about the cabinets. I don't know how to fucking do cabinets. I mean, I assume they just screw off the wall and then you can screw the other ones back in. I don't know. I wish I had people that listen to this so I could get some feedback on what I could do. I mean, I could just go on YouTube and look up shit too, so I'm not too worried about that. But that and the plumbing will have to be done throughout. There is a couple carpets that I want to replace. The one up in my one son's room is all fucked up and stained. It's like an ugly green color. The one downstairs, I probably just need to clean it. It's like a light, it's like almost like a light electric blue kind of fucking thing, but it has a couple little stains on it. I could probably just fucking steam those out probably. But other than that, those are the big things. We're getting a fence put up in a couple weeks here, and then what else do we need to do here? I think just the bathroom that's downstairs might need to repaint, because when that water leaked from the fridge, the fridge water line, it leaked down into the wall there, and water was coming out where the outlet was. So I'm gonna have to open that up, make sure that's not all fried. Even though it's not really used that often, I just usually use it to shave. So you just plug my trimmer in there, but that's the only thing that really goes in there. But I need to repaint that so I don't have an ugly water stain. And then I think I'm gonna the bathtub. It's just a stand-up shower downstairs. I'm probably gonna need to seal. I need to seal that up a little better now, because I did seal around the bottom part of the shower, because I don't know why they didn't fucking seal it. But I'm gonna do that, and hopefully it'll work out. Other than that, I don't think we really have any major issues. Just like I said, just the plumbing is a big thing, because we've had one pipe leak that was attached to the water heater. It was right a couple months after we moved in, and fucking they came around, and they raised all the water pressure in the houses in the my development that I live in, my little neighborhood, and that's when it fucking popped off. And then, oh yeah, I got to replace some drop ceiling tiles too. I'm probably just gonna go through all of them and replace them, because not that I'm too worried about the laundry room itself, because our laundry room is fucking not really messy, but it's just like you can tell they were about to do something in it and then they stopped. Like there's fucking, there's a big fucking hole in the wall. Not like a hole in the wall, but like in the bottom there where the trim is. They didn't put trim up. It's just, little shit that needs to be done there. But the plumbing is all right in there. If you go in the laundry room and go back to where the water heater is, literally all of the plumbing is above you and behind that one wall, which we're going to tear down at some point. Just there's like a wall there that's behind the bathroom downstairs, and that's the one that we're going to end up tearing up. But once all that's good and done, we shouldn't have anything else to worry about. Just little things here and there, and fucking, oh yeah, I do gotta replace a piece of drywall in the bathroom too, by the bathtub, because it was fucking getting wet and it fucking rotted out the one side, one piece of drywall. So that'll get cut out whenever we do the bathtub. But, just the wonders of being a homeowner, man. It's great, but it sucks all at the same time. It's just every now and then, like I said, stuff's been happening, like a lot of big shit, I mean, like the plumbing and stuff that happened. At least now I know, because I didn't know how to do any of that stuff before I moved in there. Now I could probably replace a good deal of that plumbing myself. If I could take down that wall in the laundry room there. I might be able to do some of that too, but I need to have somebody there with me while I do that shit. Like my brother-in-law, he knows how to fix everything and anything under the sun, whether it's your house, your car, fucking anything. I might have him there when I tear down that wall there and start going at the plumbing there, and then get that all fixed up. Fucking, we already, like I said, we already had big shit happen, like the fucking the or not the water heater. The water heater is actually pretty new, but we might need to get a new one of them soon anyway. But the AC unit and the heat pump, that we had to replace, that was a big chunk of money. Just stuff that, very, very costly things. We've already got to do a bunch of costly things like work-wise. We got a bunch of stuff that's already been done, or we got a bunch of stuff that we didn't know we were going to need to do and then just broke, so we had to do it anyway. Especially, AC. I had AC in the fucking summertime. Goddamn. But, yeah, we'll continue doing this stuff. I need to fucking start sacking up on the weekends and just start doing shit. Because, like I said, that fucking, the flooring and shit, obviously, that can wait. That's not a huge deal. At least the one downstairs. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens here. We'll find out with, hopefully we can get it all done within the next couple years, because I don't want to have to fucking, keep doing shit. I don't want to fucking put something off and then something else important breaks. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm already going to have to, replace, like, the kitchen sink upstairs is probably going to need replaced at some point. Like I said, the water heater's probably going to need replaced at some point. There's shit that's just going to need replaced within time here, just because of the age. And the plumbing is one of them, because the plumbing is fucking copper, and a lot of it's really old. And then we can replace it with that fucking PEX tubing and shit, and some more copper. It'll hopefully last another 50 to 70 years. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm about to be at a stop here. So again, I'm going to have to pause for just a second. Be back with the wonders of editing. Okay, I'm back. I'm back now. I had to deliver some more shit before I go pick up some pipe fittings. Yeah, I was actually talking to the guy in there. He was giving me ideas on where I could go for cabinets and stuff, because I'm not going to fucking pay anybody to do that. I mean? I know that all it is some screws that I take out of the fucking wall, but he told me a couple places where I can go and get some at a decent price. And they're nice, too. Get some that match the ones that are up top, because as much as, I would like to replace all of them, I don't have the means to replace all of them right now. It's the ones on the bottom that need replaced. There's water damage. The ones all warped and shit, they just need to go. But he also said I should probably replace the floor while I do that. So replace the floor and then put them in, which is probably smart. He's right about that, I would assume. But I don't know. We'll see how that works out. I gotta get fucking money first before I can start throwing what I have away on shit, because I gotta keep my little cushion. Gotta make sure I have fucking a little bit of money sacked up and put behind, just in case if my fucking AC goes out or some shit. Just like it did. It was a good thing we had the money to do it, but after a while, a lot of shit gets expensive. But yeah, be Mr. Fixer-Upper at the house here soon, just to get shit done. I gotta fucking make sure that the house fucking lasts a little while. I mean, I'm gonna be in there for at least 30 fucking years. At least 30 years. That's even if we decide to move. I mean, we might not move. It's a decent school district the kids will go to. It's the one that my wife actually went to for the first part of her childhood. So, hopefully it hasn't become a piece of shit like my school district was a piece of shit. And then I think it got a little better, actually, after I left. They probably got rid of some of them shitty teachers that I had. I had some shitty teachers in school, especially in high school. They were some real fucking assholes. You know, I had a fucking a was my bioscience teacher, I believe it was. He was a fucking cunt. That guy. He just anything. If I mean, especially me, I had a reputation for not being a very good student. You know, I didn't. You know, I fucked off a lot, a good bit. I definitely didn't do my homework. You know what I mean? I was I was high an awful lot. You know, drugs were a thing, but I still graduated. But I just remember like the first day, it was like senior year, I think. My first class I had was with him. It was I think this was ag science though. It wasn't bioscience. That was a year or two before. But I just remember my buddy was wearing a shirt. Also, it was the first year that I got contacts because I wear glasses because I'm fucking blind. So I got contacts that year. I'm like, oh, maybe these will make me look cooler. They didn't. I was still a fucking loser. But I had contacts in them. They would irritate my eyes. My eyes would get all red. So, like, I would be in school, and I wouldn't even be high or anything, and my eyes would be red. People would be like, oh, you must be super high. I'm like, no, I'm not super high. My eyes irritate from these contacts. Well, I'm in this class, and my buddy is wearing a shirt, and it's one of those, like, Chuck Norris shirts, where it was just like, oh, Chuck Norris could unscramble an egg. You know, Chuck Norris visited the Virgin Islands. They're now called the Islands. Like, there's a lot of funny little, things like that. Everybody's heard them. But he had a whole shirt with just a list of them, and I'm reading them, and I'm laughing my ass off. And this teacher, he's like, what's so funny? I'm just like, I'm laughing at his shirt. He's like, sure about that? Your eyes look a little red. I'm like, yeah, because I have fucking contacts in, and they're fucking irritating my eyes. That's why. You know what I mean? Like, that's why my eyes are fucking red, you dick. But then after that, he was just a prick the rest of the fucking year. He was just a prick to me. But, I actually saw this teacher. I was also in, like, alternative education also, which had another shitty teacher in it. I'll just call him Mike, 'cause that was his first name. I won't say his last name, even though he was a dick sucker too. But he was also an asshole. And another one I didn't get along with very well. But and for those who don't know, alternative education is like literally the class for bad kids. You know what I mean? I wasn't like a super bad kid like some kids, but I did enough dumb shit to land myself there like an idiot. But that fucking piece of shit. I actually saw him. I saw both of these teachers outside of school like years later. Uh, the one that was my alternative education teacher, he would frequent the bar at the restaurant that I worked at. So I was in the back, cooking and whatnot. I was cooking this asshole's food. I wish I would have known that. But I'd have fucking rubbed his fucking mozzarella sticks all underneath my ball sack. I would have got grease on my gooch. I would have given a shit. He would have been eating my ball sweat. But I saw him, and he goes, hey, Kevin, how you doing? I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, Mr. whatever your name is. I don't know why. I should have just called him Mike. I'm a fucking idiot. Such a fucking pussy then, too. But he's like, oh, I see you working here. I'm like, yeah, I've been working here for a little while now. He's like, you enjoying your beer? He's just like, oh, yeah, I come in here good often. I'm like, yeah, I'll bet you do. Like, kind of like a little snide fucking like, yeah, I'm sure you do, you fucking alcoholic. You probably have a fucking miserable life, you dirty asshole. But, he was just trying to get under my skin, trying to, make me say something, I assume, or make me do something that would, affect my job. And I was just like, I basically was giving him answers just like, look, I know you're a loser too, buddy. You don't gotta try and hide it. You're an alternative education teacher at this school. Like, you're nothing special. You're not making that much a year. Nice try. But, excuse me. Oh my God. But, he left me all sour and everything like that. And I was pretty sour about him too. So, that was that little experience there. Him basically just trying to make me feel like shit. Like, haha, I told you were going to be a fucking loser kind of deal. But I'm like, well, you're still a loser too. You're probably at this bar a lot more than you should be. But, that was one. And then the other teacher I saw at a grocery store. And this was just like a couple years ago now. And he's like, yeah, you went to Northern, didn't you, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I went to that school or whatever. And I should probably blank that out. That I guess doesn't really fucking matter. Um, he's like, you went to this school, right? I'm like, yeah, I went to. Like, yeah, you were one of my teachers for whatever time or whatever. And he goes, oh, how you doing, yada yada. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. I work at here where I work now. I work here, and I do. I told him I'm about to get my CDL and stuff like that. Start driving truck for this place. And he's like, oh, cool. Okay, all right, that's cool. Like, he was actually kind of nice to me about it. And I was just like, yeah, I know how I was in school. You probably didn't expect me to be much. He was like, well, I wouldn't say that. He's like, I wouldn't say I didn't expect you to be much, but I expected it to be a little tougher for you. And I'm like, oh, you have no idea how tough it was for me. Like, I kind of went through some of the stuff that I had been through, to get to where I'm at now. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy, but I did grow up at some point. And he's like, well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see you're doing all right. I had kids at this time too, and they were with me. I think my wife was with me too, and he was just, oh yeah, she was with me because he was like, yeah, this was he was a bit of a problem student whenever he was in school, and she was just like, she just kind of said, what, Kevin? No, really? Because she knows I'm a fucking asshole. So that's how that experience worked out. One was pretty good. It was pretty decent. He was real, nice and, respectful, understanding. You know what I mean? So, but then the other one, not so good. So, yeah, school wasn't definitely my thing. They knew that. At least I didn't turn out to be such a piece of shit. But, you know, only one of them really saw that. The other guy, he got away with not seeing me being the super successful truck driver that I am now. But I don't give a fuck. Fuck that guy. He might be dead anyway. Probably not. But anyway, that's my those are my little experiences with some of the teachers I went to school with. They a lot of, like I said, I did have a lot of good teachers. I did have a lot of good teachers, but I definitely had some shitty ones. The one obviously not so shitty now. He was just being a teacher. That's the one thing I knew about some of these teachers is they were just being teachers. The one guy, the alternative education teacher, he was just a prick because all he did was deal with shitty kids. So for him, it was just like, oh, well, he's over here because he's a piece of shit, so I'm going to treat him like a piece of shit. So, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I understand that. But, the other ones were just like, look, I'm trying to get you ready for the world because, it ain't fucking easy. But either way, they didn't really teach it like that. They don't teach stuff like they really used to. I don't think either. Everything seems to be a little easier, at least from when I was in school, because I see some of the shit. It all depends, honestly, because I see some shit that I was looking at, and I'm like, fuck, I don't remember how to do any of that. Like, I was looking at my niece's math homework, and she was just doing, like, long division. And I'm like, fuck, I don't think I even remember. I forgot how to do long division. I had to reteach myself how to do long division. I was like, well, fuck, man. I guess I should have paid a little bit more attention. But obviously I didn't. I'm not using long division now. I use addition and subtraction. That's about it. I use a little bit of multiplication, but it's mostly just basic shit. I'm not fucking out here having, I don't have formulas and shit like that. Fucking math equations and like, well, the square root of such and such is equal to fucking, I don't have a job like that. And that's the thing, a lot of those people aren't going to have jobs like that. That's what they don't understand. They fucking, they teach every kid the same way, and it works fine when you're like in elementary school and, middle school. You know what I mean? Like, you're teaching a kindergartner how to write his fucking name, I don't even think they even do that anymore. They might, I don't know. I don't remember if I could write my name in kindergarten. It's been a long time. But like, you're teaching basic math and shit, you know, basic English vocabulary, difference between a noun and a verb. You can teach everybody that, but some people are going to be like, all right, I can't, trigonometry is a little too hard for me. I'm not going to be able to do that. So, yeah, that's just a testament of where our education system is going through now, though. I mean, we actually had funding back then. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen nowadays. We don't even know if there's going to be fucking school. I mean, everyone's fucking, all my fucking nieces and nephews. I don't have any kids in school yet. My oldest doesn't go to school till next year. Thank God. Which, now that I think about it, is not fucking far away now. We're already into this school year. And it'll be over before we know it. But they're fucking doing shit like online, like the Zoom and stuff like that. Which is kind of shitty. Because I'm sure not every fucking household has like internet. You know what I mean? Granted, I think they supply laptops, I believe. At least that's what some of them were doing. But I don't know. I don't see this working out very well. You know what I mean? Because you can't really have fucking in school teaching because this whole fucking COVID thing. You know what I mean? There was a case at the school that my niece went to, and they shut it down for 2 weeks. And then what? They're gonna come back in, and then another kid is gonna have another fucking pair of shitty parents who are like, oh, don't worry about wearing a mask. You know what I mean? It's all a hoax. That kind of shit. And then they're gonna get another kid's gonna have fucking COVID, and they're gonna possibly spread it to other kids who do wear masks and shit. It's a mess. Like, it's a fucking mess. And I hope it's all fucking cleared up by next year because I don't want to have my kid deal with this. Now, it's not like we can homeschool my kids. You know what I mean? I'm working all the time. My wife, I mean, she's not a dummy, but she ain't fucking smart enough to homeschool. Neither am I in that case. I mean, I'm not fucking smart enough to fucking homeschool my kids. Maybe for the first couple years, basic math and addition, but I just told you, I forgot long division. I forgot how to do that. You know what I mean? I even had to not even reteach myself, but there was an equation like on Facebook. It's like, oh, figured out this equation. A 7th grader can do it. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, fuck, what goes first? Do you do the parentheses first? Do you do the multiplication? And I forgot all about that PEMDAS thing that they taught us, that PEMDAS. I forgot all about that, so somebody commented on it. They got it right, and they're like, PEMDAS, remember? I'm like, shit, I don't remember that at all. But now I do. Now I can figure out a 7th grade equation. So, hopefully shit gets better. Not just for my sake, for everybody's sake. I hope everybody, hope this works out for everybody. It's a fucking scary time right now. We've never lived through anything like this. I mean, I'm a 31-year-old man. I've seen a lot. I'm a millennial, so I've seen a lot in my 31 years. I went from having a fucking dresser of a TV that sits on the floor to having a fucking CRT box TV that sat on top of it afterwards. And then, I went from having a fucking Nintendo Entertainment System to now fucking a PlayStation 4. Like technologically, I've seen everybody my age has seen this fucking, technology advance so vast. And I think that's why nostalgia plays a big part in, like, people my age, like, in their life. I feel like that plays a big part because they're like, wow, I remember a time when shit was just so much simpler. You know what I mean? Shit was like, ooh, there's the air. Shit was simpler. Shit was, it wasn't, you could run around the streets and not have to worry about 10 fucking people trying to steal you. Like, it's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in, and I hope it gets better. I mean, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Hopefully we already went through the worst. Hopefully this is the worst of it, because I don't know, this horse shit, I swear, it's just fucking, it's not a world that anybody wants to live in. It's not a world that I want my kids to grow up in. Hopefully shit will change. Hopefully we'll go back to being, even if it, doesn't get, like, better as far as people, hopefully this whole fucking pandemic will stop. People can stop, treating the presidential election like a popularity contest. Instead, just vote for the guy who will get it done better. I mean, I can tell you right now, I'm voting fucking third party this time. I'm voting for whoever the third person on that ballot is, I'm voting for him. I'm not voting for anybody with a blue tie. I'm not voting for anybody with a fucking red tie. Whoever that third person is, I don't even know who it is. I think it's like Joe Jorgensen or something like that. Some lady. So, I mean, I'm voting for her. I'm fucking voting for her. That's what I'm doing. And people are going to be like, oh, you're wasting your vote. I'm not wasting my fucking vote. I'm voting. I'm just not voting for the person you want me to vote for. That's why it's a waste of a vote. And, if you're going to say that, well, go fuck yourself. That's your own decision. You can vote whoever you want. You can vote for Biden. You can vote for Trump. I don't give a shit. But I'm going to vote for the lady who doesn't have a color on her tie. That's how I feel about it. But I'm going to stop this now. I need to get off here. I need to drop this trailer out and do some more work. And then I'm going to re-listen to this while I drive to make sure I know where I can stop and edit out all my fuck-ups. All the long places of silence where I forgot some word, or just where my stupidity shows an awful lot, because I know my stupidity does show quite a bit, especially when I'm talking on here. It's hard for me to just keep a sentence going without a lot of ums and you knows. So I'm gonna try and edit some of those out, so it's not so painful for all you smart people out there listening. But thank you guys again for joining me. I appreciate it. And I will see you all again next time. Hopefully this Thursday.